Women of Culture 365 presents Glow, a greater level of wellness. With your co-host, Mia Alman, founder of Women of Culture 365 and Glow, a certified life, health, and nutrition coach. Sophia Green, producer and host of the Sophie G Radio Show, bringing you words of wisdom. Don Hewitt, certified holistic health coach on how to treat the whole body. And Lady Q, founder of Sisters of Faith and P360, an evangelist and certified life purpose coach, bringing you spiritual advice. Join us as we go Facebook Live every third Tuesday at 7 p.m. to talk about the mind, body, and soul, a conversation you do not want to miss. Please bring your questions as you discover the power of your glow.
Hello, everyone. I am Mia Alman, and welcome to Glow. Along with me tonight is my co-host, Sophie G. Hey, Sophie.
Hey, hey, hey. Good evening, everyone. Blessings to you, sisters.
You too. And also, we have Coach Dawn Hewitt. Hey, Dawn.
Hey, guys. Nice to be back.
Happy Caribbean Heritage Day.
Happy Caribbean Heritage Month, sister. And day. And for the rest of the month.
I'm telling you, well, you know, we celebrate our culture 365. So 1 month is not enough for us.
1 month is not enough. Of course not. Of course not. And you know, we usually end up getting the shortest month. The shortest month to celebrate. You realize that, right? But we take it.
Yes, definitely. And folks, I do apologize. You know, we've been having some echoing, some technical difficulty, but hopefully it'll clear up soon. But you know, last month May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and you know, which is truly an important health awareness. You know, because mental health affects millions of us today, especially, you know, with COVID, and, you know, even when you're dealing with any kind of mental issues, underlying conditions, and just dealing with a traumatic time in your life. So, you know, we just encourage, you know, you to seek help, because seeking help doesn't mean a sign of weakness or anything. It's all about mental wellness. Sophie, what were your thoughts from the last show?
You know, I think it was such we got such great information, you know, from the both doctors that we had on, doctor and counselor, who were both in the health field, who, you know, Dr. Arlene and sister, our sister right there. The information they gave us, I think it was so interesting, the timing of it, because I have applied so much of it personally to my own personal daily routine, to remember to breathe, to remember to keep moving, just keep walking, you know, just get up and go. And I realized how, even though I was doing it before, just how much more important it is to just have it reinforced, you know. And I've been sharing it with everybody else that I come across, you know, reminding maybe as a little bit of a nag, just keep moving, just keep moving. But yeah, it was an eye opener, to say the least.
Great. Dawn, what was your thoughts on the
I thought it was perfect for Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think that us as people of African descent, the world, or you know, around the world, we really need to be encouraged to seek go after our mental health, because collectively and individually our lives can have a lot of stress, like not only based on the everyday things, but the the racial part of what goes on in a place like the United States. And I was really glad to be part of it and to share a little bit of my story. And I'm just really proud of being a part of that, and being being with you ladies on an occasion such as that.
Thank you so much, Dawn. And this month here, we are celebrating Men's Health Week, which runs from June 14th to June 15th. And, it's just bringing awareness to a lot of health issues men are going through as far as nutrition, fitness, and just overall health. And today we have, two special guests on the show. Allow me to introduce our first guest, which is, let me read a little bit about her. It's Dr. Pat Smith. She's a registered dietitian and licensed nutritionist, and which has, she's been doing this for over 25 years, of experience in the areas of food and nutrition, and an educator who has taught several nutritional and health-related courses at the secondary and college levels. Currently, she is a professor of nutrition and dietetics at one of the local university in Florida. Additionally, she is the Chief Operating Officer of Health by Design USA Inc., which is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to addressing the extreme obesity related health problems among children and adults in our community. Dr. Smith, welcome.
Thank you, Miss Mayor. I'm happy to be here.
Dr. Smith, share a little about what you would say the biggest health issues when it comes to nutrition for men.
Well, Mayor, men's health is very important because men's health refers to a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being as experienced by men, not merely the absence of diseases. And as we think about men's health is kind of like on the back burner. Sometimes they don't want to go to the doctor, they don't want to go to their healthcare professionals to get their regular checkup, and they may tend to change their appointment or not keeping their appointment. And so research is showing that many of our men tend to be in a poorer state of health than their female counterpart. When it comes to nutrition, men sometimes are at the lower end of the spectrum because, sometimes they don't eat well, they don't drink enough water, and men are at such a high risk of coming down with several of the health-related, nutrition-related diseases, preventable diseases like heart disease, like cancer, especially prostate cancer, like diabetes. So men's health is very important, and nutrition is the key to better health as we look at men's health this month.
That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that information. And I want to introduce another one of our guests that is here. This gentleman, I have known him for many years, born and raised, in Guyana. And he has been one of our pillars in the community for several years. He is the founder of, or actually co-founder of Natural Mystic Sound Sensation. And, His name is Oliver Batson, and for many, he's known by Professor GT. GT, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, good evening, ladies. Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, brother.
Now, later in the show, you're going to share a little bit about some of your, underlying conditions and some of the changes that you've actually made in going back and staying healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for being a part of Glow.
It's a pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. And then I have another guest as well that's coming on the scene, which is Dr. Ronald Lynch. And Dr. Lynch, went to Oakwood University studying biology and chemistry. He joined the National Cancer Institute as a biologist in a toxicology lab. He pursued medicine at the University of Maryland, and he did his family practice residence at Florida Hospital, which is now Advent Health. So let's welcome Dr. Ronald Lynch to Glow. Hi there.
Yes, hello. I am happy to glow with everybody else here during this mid-June month, and excited to share some thoughts about how we can improve the status of the African American man's health and well-being.
Thank you, Dr. Lynch, for being a part of Glow. Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, what health issues men are facing today?
Okay. Well, that question really is somewhat dependent upon the age and the stage that man is developing in. And so if we went from the first 20 years of a man's life, they should have been under the care of a pediatrician, let's presume. They should have been under the care of caring, knowledgeable parents that tried to provide an appropriate foundational nutrition, the necessary exercise, the proper amount of water, not taking on any bad habits like smoking or drinking in excess, getting their proper rest, learning how to breathe, and trusting in the divine source. And generally speaking, from 1 to 20, that should be not much of an issue unless there is an issue. Now, in the 20s to 40s, there are certain hormonal things that are beginning to change. Life is starting to set in, and exercise may become less of a matter. Nutrition may become less of a matter. But still, generally speaking, our young men should be able to hang on to some reasonable amount of health until perhaps 40. So between 40 and 60 is when trouble is starting to poke its head out. And some of those problems, of course, will constitute heart disease, which will still remain the number one killer. Cancer becomes a problem, particularly prostate, possibly testicular, the lungs if they have been exposed to secondhand or direct smoke, and any number of other bad habits from using drugs could damage the liver or the kidneys. But certainly, we got to start paying attention to blood pressure, to blood sugar, to blood cholesterol. And we need earlier screening evaluations because we seem to have the short end of the stick. So I'll stop here just mentioning the importance of colorectal screening as well as PSA screening. That's the prostate specific antigen, looking for prostate cancer. That probably needs
I think Dr. Lynch froze there for a moment.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Sophie.
Yes, he did. You know what? He touched on a few pointers that were actually similar and were echoing what our other guests had been saying earlier. Dr. Pat, about the fact that some of the things that starts to show up in men are blood pressure problems and heart disease. It only goes to show. So when we have two doctors on the same platform who are tapping into the same thing and acknowledging that that's an actual issue, a problem for our men, or especially our Caribbean men, we know that there's really and truly a problem right there, because they both, just piggybacked off each other. So that only goes to show that there really and truly is an issue, right, Dr. Pat?
You're sure right, Miss Sophie. Exactly so. Because, as I said before, the men are more laid back. They don't take their health in hand in a timely manner. Even if they do, they don't do so in a timely manner. So that is part of the problem. And one of the diseases that we are seeing, they are diet. Many of them are diet and nutrition related, like the high blood pressure, like the diabetes, like even the prostate cancer. Diet has a lot to do with that as well. So when we talk about the men's health and the different issues that are facing them, many of them can be curtailed with a good diet and good nutrition intervention.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Dr. Lynch, you're back.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
It has probably already been stated that in general, men are half as likely to visit the doctor for a checkup as a female. And there has been a reported 7 million men that have not seen a doctor in at least 10 years. And I think it's the increasing distrust that we as a society have against the administration and some of the second guessing that has to happen as a result of Tuskegee experiments and other things. But alas, it's a new day, and so there are now many practitioners that look like men, look like us, and there's not a good reason that we should not be consulting more frequently with some respected help.
Now, from your observation, looking at the different ethnic groups from Caribbean to African American to Caucasian and other cultures, do you see any difference in why men struggle to get annual physicals?
There's not a great reason. I practiced in the Central Florida area for a good 25 years, and it was very clear that the most consistent clients were going to be women. And I don't know what excuses that men have, what fears they have. They may feel like they're not going to be getting a good look. I think it comes down to a matter of trust. And there appears also to be a great dilemma between trusting the allopathic traditional mode of care. And but I also have to say that there's a lot of African American practitioners here in Central Florida. There's someone for everyone that you can feel comfortable with. But I was going to say this until the end, but I'll say it right now, that we have to begin looking for new ways of finding places to engage men. And that may be the barbershop as an example. We may have to start using the barbershop not just as a hangout place to talk nonsense, but to actually talk some serious business.
I agree with that. But and you know what? We're all the beauty about this platform is that we all have Caribbean background somehow, right? And because as one of the stigmas, I believe, and you all can correct me, but based upon my years of wisdom and knowledge, is that there's a stigma in men, especially men from the island, who refuse to go to the doctor because to get certain examination done. Okay, because they don't want men touching them in certain areas because it's too personal. You know, Doc, you mentioned earlier about the colorectal screening and the prostate screening, where they don't want any male doctor touching them in a certain part or doing this. And I'm just being as blunt as possible because we're all adults. But you said something just now that I think it's we need to make perfectly clear that there is someone for everyone, and I think it's a matter if we can find somebody that we're comfortable with, a physician that we're comfortable with. We need to encourage our men that if they don't want to go to see a male doctor, then we need to try and find a female doctor that you might be comfortable with, but you need to get it done. I don't know. But yes, we need to have conversations in the barbershop and also in our hairdressers, because we need to come together as a family to encourage our men to go get screened.
Yeah, I tell you one thing, that that rectal exam would be no more comfortable for a woman to do it than a man. And so I think most men would rather have a male doctor that looks like them. And
Okay.
as much as men may say otherwise, I don't think they would want to have a woman doing a rectal exam on them.
I'd have to agree with that. I will agree. Because that's a little touchy area there. You know, it's gonna be rough enough to build a rapport with the male doctor unless a woman coming in there and she's seeing your things dangling and these things and such, you know. So that's we're adults, so I'm trying to keep it G-rated as
well. This platform so that we can get, being able
and
to have a position like this.
I'd like to also say, like, just to mention on what the doctor said, there is a fear, there is a phobia, and more time the phobia is the unknown. A lot of guys are out here, such as myself. I'm one of those Caribbean men. I'm not big on doctors, but due to my circumstances, I have no choice but to see a doctor almost 3 times a week, right? But besides that, as a Caribbean man, it's the unknown. You don't want, no, I'm not going to want to go doctor, and then I got to tell me say this wrong, and then I got to do this and do that, and then it kind of halts or it kind of slows down your productivity as making money or whatever the case may be. The men are just, I'll say they're scared. They don't want to hear that they have cancer. They don't want to hear. They're rather, nah, I'm rather dead before somebody read. So, you know, that is definitely possible. I agree with the doctor. There has to be some other platform to reach those men. There's nothing. If even on TV, you're watching TV, almost every commercial is some type of woman something or some type of or erectile dysfunction. That's like the only thing you hear 100% of almost every day.
Wow.
But there's so much. I mean, don't worry about that. Worry about staying alive. You know what I'm saying? So we need more of that commercially as well as personally and of course and personal, you know. And to find that doctor that you're looking for, that's going to take a little time too. So they have to first get over the phobia of it. Secondly, look for somebody they trust. That's a process all by itself, you know. But there has to be a first step, and I don't really know where that first step would come from. But, you know, we need to find one.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you. Because the point is, they say we'll rather die before we go. And they do wait till they are dying.
Yeah.
And when they are dying, at that time, they try to catch on to every straw. And sometimes it's kind of a little bit too late.
It's too late, of course.
We have to really start the conversation now. It may not just be in the barber shop. It may be at the dining table. How are you feeling today? Did you drink enough water? Did you eat any fruits? Did you eat any vegetables when you were out there? Even driving your truck, you could have an apple. How did you spend your day? And then we can start a conversation, because we see our men at home and maybe we don't talk to them as much as we should, but maybe at the dining table as we are eating, we bring up nutrition. So we find different ways to bring in the health message, the health conversation, because men's health, we talk about men, we can't find eligible men for our daughters in case they are sick, they're in jail, they're somewhere, but we really have to keep our men healthy. And good nutrition is one of the best ways to keep them healthy.
GT, I know you have dealt with some underlying conditions and, change to a healthier lifestyle. Can you share a little bit about your journey?
Of course. Well, so some people don't know because it's not something that I really publicize, but there are a lot of people that do know. In the year of 2014, I was diagnosed with complete kidney failure. I'm gonna put it in those terms. I've been on dialysis since, 3 days a week, 4 hours, which is the maximum. So, I'm at that stage 5 stage, so there's no turning back. Its next step would be a transplant. So that's where I'm at as far as that. So like I said earlier, I see the doctor 3 times a week regardless. I get my blood work done. I get my blood pressure checked. I get everything. So there's no me going around seeing a doctor because that basically at this point is keeping me up and ticking. Anybody that knows me, oh, GT, you're always in the streets. You're there, here, you're there. And I do that because it keeps me busy. And there was a point in the beginning where it was straight depression. It's like I said, the unknown. It's like I didn't know what was going on. I was 42 or so when I got diagnosed, and at that point, I didn't know, am I going to die? Like, I don't know what is kidney failure. I didn't know what exactly that meant. So I went into a deep depression. Yeah, and I'd have to say, because of the person that I am, I was able to pull myself out of that. Some people cannot. Some people struggle with it. And luckily enough, because of the person that I am and the lifestyle that I do live as a DJ, as a host, that's kind of my personality. So I couldn't let it, actually it did consume me for a couple of months. People didn't know because I kind of stayed in my little cave and did what I did. And I went through the motions and trying to figure out what the next step was. But like I said, 6, 7 years in, I'm still here. I'm healthy. What I ended up doing a year ago or so, and like the doctor said earlier, and I'm gonna phrase it like everybody else does, you definitely if you eat oxtail and extra grapefruit every other day at 10 o'clock at night and all these kind of things, it's not gonna work. Your pressure will definitely be high, and you will have all kind of underlying that you don't even know about because you ain't going to the doctor. I had to completely I went vegan for a year straight. I just came off of it maybe 4 months ago because being on dialysis, I still need to build up my proteins, and it's hard for me to do that just on vegetables. Even though like the chana and the chickpeas and all these pieces has that, due to my phosphorus levels, I can't eat too much of that either. So I had to kind of incorporate back in my salmon and my in due diligence. You know what I'm saying? So I went complete vegan, and when I say vegan, I don't mean like tofu and these. No, I went straight hardcore Dr. Sebi alkaline vegan. Everything was off of Dr. Sebi's book. It wasn't easy to do, but I tell you what, at the end of the day, I lost 35 pounds almost. My blood pressure, I was off my blood pressure meds. Right now, due to the chicken and the salmon, you might see my face a little full now. I gained back a little weight, but I'm still able to maintain what I need to maintain. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, that has been due to years of no treatment. Being a DJ, I didn't have insurance. And that's another thing. Some of these guys out here, myself included, at those given times, don't have insurance. Who's going to go to a doctor with no insurance? That's the first thing. If you don't have insurance, you're really worried about a bill you ain't getting. So it's like, well, why should I go? I ain't got no money to pay them, which is a phobia. I mean, so you'd rather dead? That don't make no sense. You might as well go and figure it out and figure out the bill later. But men tend to do that. You know what I mean? It's like it ain't gonna take nothing to go see a doctor. But like I said, as before, the phobia is what is the doctor gonna tell you? Am I gonna end up having to see this man every week because I have an underlying issue that I didn't know about, which I have always had high blood pressure, but I have never treated it. I was never on any meds for it, and that was since in my probably mid-20s. So imagine then into my early 40s of untreated blood pressure. Something's going to go wrong. What went wrong is my heart was working too hard, and it put the strain on my kidneys, and as a result of that, the kidneys went into failure. And when I tell you that initial feeling that day that I took myself to the hospital of feeling, well, not literally took myself, I could barely walk. It was the weirdest feeling. I went in the kitchen to try to cook something, and I almost collapsed in the kitchen. I had to kind of run myself into the bedroom and collapse on the bed. I couldn't. I was like, I can't even explain it really, but it's like it's almost a feeling of you have no function whatsoever. By the time I went to the hospital early that morning, it was almost 4 or 5 in the morning. My girlfriend rushed me there. My pressure was 2 something over something. They were like, "Sir, how are you not having a stroke right now?" And that's exactly. And then as they were taking my blood pressure, I had these little convulsions for like a couple seconds. I felt it, but I didn't realize it was happening. And they looked at me and were like, "Are you okay?" So thank God. Had I gone to sleep that night, I say to myself, I probably wouldn't have woke up the next day. That's how bad it was. So with the graces of God, I took myself there on time, and I was able to catch it when I was supposed to catch it. And talking to a lot of these men out here, don't wait till then. Don't wait till then. Because like I said, if you do go to sleep, you might not be promised tomorrow. That's why I live my life the way I live right now. I gotta live it to the fullest 100% because I'm not promised tomorrow. And being on dialysis, even more so. Everything is still scary. I gotta go forward and get a transplant and all kind of thing. And then after that, they kind of kick you off of disability. They kick you off the insurance. Then I'm gonna be 50 this year. What I'm supposed to do? Go look at 9 to 5 now and try to, you know what I mean? So it's all kind of little stuff behind the scenes that people don't really catch on. But not to stray from the subject, men, you have to go out there. And I'm at that age. I haven't gotten the polling thing done yet. I'm at that age where it's coming around. And yes, I have the phobia of people going back there and doing what they got to do. So, you know, I'm a little hesitant on that. I can't lie about that. But at the end of the day, I know it's something that has to be done. So from me to anybody out there that's listening, and I had a friend approach me the other day, and I explained to them, I haven't seen them in years. And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm on dialysis." So he was like, "Yo, I just went to the doctor the other day, and they checked my urine and so on and blah, blah." I was like, "Bro, don't play with that." I said, "You don't want to be where I am. Don't play with that." And I happened to go check in today, and he said he went. And the doctor told him everything's okay. I don't know if it was a fluke in the test or whatever the case may be, but I was like, you'd rather have it in mind than stress yourself out about something that you don't know about. So I'm glad I was able to have that quick little 10-minute conversation with him because it changed his mind to go see the doctor again. And he went between the time I saw him and seeing him again today. And thank God Almighty, he is all right. There's no underlying anything. So, but then I said, yo, now you can breathe easy, right? Like, yo, I'm so glad you talked to me about that. And that's the conversation we need to have worldwide almost, especially with the Caribbean, man. It's scary, of course it's going to be scary. Nobody said it wasn't going to be, but if you want to live, if you want to live, like I said, I have a grandchild now. That's why I got my kids. Like it's something to live for. So don't you can't take it for granted and be selfish about it. You got to take care of yourself, or nobody else is going to do it for you. Real time. You know what I mean? And I'm a proven person walking around here. Like I don't know if I should be here right now. And it's 7 years later, and I'm still here kicking up the place, doing what I do. People want to know how the hell I'm here and there and everywhere and doing what I do. It's because it's a motivation of life. I need to live. I need to see my granddaughter graduate from college and these things. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'll make it that far, but at the end of the day, that is what I'm striving for. And you got to be adamant. If you're the mom, if you're the husband, if you're the wife, if you're the daughter, if you're the child, if you're the whatever, you see your father or brother or nephew or whoever not looking so great, you might want to talk to them for a second. And men have a problem with listening. Men don't listen too well. You can't really tell men too much. You know, man, forget that. That ain't for me. But then at the end of the day, we tell you these things because we want to see you live. We want to see you here for longer than you're supposed to be here. Well, longer than you would perceive yourself being. And like I said, the conversation needs to be had. And again, like the doctor said, we need those platforms. We don't have those platforms. Yeah, like I said, the barbershop is talking about basketball and this and that. And never have I ever been in the barbershop where we talk about heart disease, when we talk about, because then it turns into like, they don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? But we do need those kind of platforms.
You're so right, DJ. Your story has so many parts. Your journey is so interesting. And I'm sorry that you have the issue, but I'm glad that you have realized your problem and you're sharing your story and you're encouraging other men. But some things you have said that are so important to take care of yourself. And you said you changed your diet and went to a vegan diet. That's one of the best things you could have done for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
A plant-based diet is very, very essential to maintaining excellent health because the plants are there from nature and they have all of the nutrition that we need. So reducing or eliminating the animal products from your diet is really key. One of the things that we do in Health by Design, we talk about not having insurance. We help folks, the underserved community, to locate free places where they can go to get their checkup. So we show them and we explain to them through the Health by Design, and that's a free service, how they can go to places like Shepherd's Hope and other non-profit organization that provides healthcare because they're out there and they're willing to offer the service. But the underserved community seem like they don't really know where those places are. But that's good that you are really taking up your health in hand and continue to spread the word that a plant-based diet is one of the ways to go to improve your health and to maintain better health. Good job. Keep up the good work. And I pray that you continue to stay healthy with whatever you're doing and the health, the level of health that you have at this moment, but continue to spread the word. Education is very important. And that's another thing that we do in Health by Design. We educate the underserved population because sometimes they don't have internet. They don't see what's going on TV. So that talk, that one-to-one talk, that men's one-to-one talk, that women's one-to-one talk is very important because my friend will listen to me more than they will listen to a stranger. So talk to your peers, talk to your family, talk to your friends. Good nutrition is the key to better health. And now that you're on that very restricted diet, you're saying to yourself, when I had the option, why didn't I follow a healthier diet? Now I am forced to do it and I am doing it. So while we have the choices, let us make better choices. I know with your situation, we always say drink more water, but for you now it's a different regime with yours.
Yeah, correct. My thing is a little altered differently.
Yes. So yours.
Because of the liquid intake is not something that I could really
exactly
overdo.
So, from a dietitian, because I counsel folks like you with those issues. So I know with your situation.
But again, like you said, had I done that earlier in stages, had I been drinking the waters that I needed to drink earlier in life, then I probably wouldn't be in this situation. Or to purify and cleanse the kidney as it's supposed to be done. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be in this situation. But here I am, still living and kicking. We're gonna make it happen.
We are going to make it. So thank you for sharing your story.
Dr. Lynch, you want to chime in on that one?
He's muted.
You gotta unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. I wanted to pick up on the notion that we're talking about kidney disease, which generally speaking is going to be a combination of having high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high cholesterol. Particularly when this is combined with obesity, then we're talking about something called the metabolic syndrome. And when you add to those four different things that I just said, sugar, pressure, and cholesterol, and then the weight. When you add stress to that, then you really is things are exploding. And I would have to say, and I don't think anybody would dare disagree with me, that among those who are terribly stressed these days, I think men, black men, have good reason to be under a lot of stress for a lot of reasons. Not only because of what we've seen with the George Floyds of the world and Derek Chauvin's, but just in general, the shootings and the killings that can happen in any of our major cities. So we've got to find ways of dealing with stress in addition to everything else, which then of course brings up the mental condition, the mental state that many of our men are in, which lead them towards drugs or lead them towards bad habits. And so one of the things that I would like to state before the night is over is that we ought to take a better, closer look at what to do with our young men, particularly when they are from age 10 to 12. Do we have to have some kind of a program to usher our young men into manhood, where we can redefine what is a man? Because the Caribbean definition of a man is some kind of a tough guy who's so tough he doesn't really have to go to the doctor. He doesn't really have to follow all the rules. And I think that being a African American man, it can be hazardous to your health unless we deal with the early training of what is a good man. What are the characteristics of a good man? And the number one thing is taking responsibility for your health.
Definitely agree. Definitely. And like I was saying, like the doctor said, it's to reach them. That's one main goal that needs to be achieved. Is how do you reach them, and then not only how do you reach them, not make them listen, but how do you make them take heed to this is serious. This is very serious. Sometimes it doesn't hit home until it's somebody you know, and they shouldn't have to take that, because next time around, and if you could take the precautions ahead of time to try to save yourself from reaching my age and going through these type of things, then I don't see why you wouldn't want to. But again, I don't know if it's ego. I don't know if it's you're studying woman too much. I don't know what's the problem. But like it's some men, and me personally, I feel say a lot of men are just scared. They don't scared of the unknown. They don't know what the doctor's going to say, nor do they want to hear what the doctor's going to say, because they're frightened of what the doctor's going to say.
There's one something I have to say. During the last 2 months, they have lowered the age for colorectal screening.
Yeah,
and a very interesting phenomena I think is occurring right in front of our eyes is that more people are using wireless technologies and phones in their back pockets. And it is for not a good understanding why people in their 30s and 40s are developing colorectal cancer at a faster rate than ever in the past. That's why they had to lower the age for getting a colonoscopy. And so be wary, women, of you wearing your phone in the wrong places. But men absolutely should not put a cell phone in their pocket for fear of erectile dysfunction. It will damage the sperm. But apparently, the back pocket or maybe even the side pocket could be contributing to some of the increased cases of colorectal cancer.
Interesting.
And Dr. Lynch, and thank you for bringing that point up. As we're talking about colorectal cancer, that's one of the most preventable cancers if we do follow a proper diet, a nutritious diet, because we have to include that fiber in the diet with your fresh vegetables and your fresh fruits and your whole grains. And when you start having a diet that's full of fiber that can help to eliminate some of the caustic substance out of your body and help to reduce or prevent that colorectal cancer. That's one of the cancers that is one of the most preventable. So let us include the fresh fruits and vegetables in our diet, the fiber, the whole grains, the nuts, the seeds, the berries, very important to provide adequate fiber along with adequate fluid in the diet. Thank you.
You know, as you're talking about nutrition, Dr. Smith, I want to touch on that a little bit. I know Dawn has some questions. What are some of the fruits and vegetables that men need to eat more? And how often, you know, per serving per day, they should eat them?
Thank you for the question. You can never go wrong with fruits and vegetables. We recommend at least 3 to 6 servings every day. Always include a salad, maybe at lunch, at dinner. Have an apple as you go along. You don't even have to make an effort because grapes are like snack items. Apples, you know, you cut up a watermelon, it's summertime right now. So fruits and vegetables are always very important, but always try to vary your fruits, vary your vegetables. So you have dark green leafy vegetables, maybe at one serving, like your spinach, and maybe like your steamed cabbage. The cruciferous vegetables are very, very important in helping to stave off any type of cancer. And that's like those in the cabbage family, like the broccoli, like the cauliflower, very important. And so any fruit or vegetable is important, but the green, dark green leafy one, they give you some iron. They give you that magnesium, vitamin, minerals, vitamin C for your fresh fruits, like your oranges and your citrus fruits, other citrus fruit, grapefruit, and so forth. So very, very important. And 3 to 6 servings per day, we recommend. But you can even have more. And especially if you're diabetic, you go to the tart fruits, like the green apple, so you don't build up. So people say, oh, I'm eating so many fruits and it's natural sugars. But if you have any type of diabetes, you still have to monitor like how many bananas you eat per day and so on and so forth. So it's a balance. It's a balance of everything. The yellow fruits and the red fruits and vegetables, the red pepper, the carrots, the pumpkin, you know, you get that great supply of vitamin A. And especially if you have young men in the family, you know, the vitamin A helps to, and the vitamin D from the dark green leafy vegetables, and even the sunshine help to form their sperm count. So when you have adolescent boys in the family, make sure they get an adequate supply of fresh fruits and vegetables, along with staying out in the sun to maximize their vitamin D levels, because there are substances there, there are elements there, there are nutrients there that help to build the form, the sperm count. And sometimes when they become men and they say, oh, it's so difficult to get my wife pregnant, to have a baby, sometimes it's from beginning because they did not have a balanced diet from beginning. So they did not develop everything that they needed to develop. So a balanced diet is very, very important. And we are talking also about prostate cancer and any type of men's issue when it relates to the genitalia. We look at the zinc. When men use up a lot of their zinc when they make love and they ejaculate. And so it's good to replace that by eating fresh fruits and vegetables, but especially nuts and berries. You get a lot of zinc from that. And we propose the fresh fruits. I know those who eat animal products, oyster is a very good source of zinc. But for those who do not eat animal products, your nuts and your berries are very, very good sources of zinc to replace that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smith. Dawn, I think you have some questions you want to ask, chime in with as far as nutrition.
Dr. Smith, just this is kind of a different question right now, but I was so inspired by your bio, and I wanted to know what your inspiration was for becoming a dietitian. Does it have to do with your Jamaican heritage?
I am always interested in health. I have always been interested in health. And as I was going to high school, I was exposed to home economics, where we already learned not only about cooking and the nutrients in food, but we learned the science behind it and how the nutrients are utilized in the body. And so I became more interested. And as I graduated from high school in the Caribbean, I went to Teachers College and I specialized in home economics, where I did more research and more learning and gather more knowledge on how the nutrients are used in food. And so my knowledge, I built on one on top of the other, and I eventually did my master's degree in food science and nutrition at the University of Wisconsin, here in Wisconsin. And so science is always something that I am interested in, but how the food works in the body, because there's a big difference of just knowing about the food. And we have many nutritionists who are helping to spread the word, but the dietitian relates and explains and interprets how the nutrients are utilized in the body. And they're the ones who are thoroughly trained to interpret the sciences and the research and put that into usable format for the public. And that is why you have the guideline for this and the guideline for that, because of the study of the nutrition that we do. So we set up those guidelines, what percentage to eat, how many calories for this body type or height and weight, how many fruits and vegetables. We have the plate, my plate, that dietitians help to put together for the public. So we really interpret the science so that the public can understand it. So I must say, from a young age, I have been interested in nutrition. Thank you.
That's wonderful. I have similar interests. I'm not as highly qualified as you are, but I got certified as a holistic health counselor 15 years ago because of my own health struggles. And my mom grew up on a farm in Jamaica, so we've always been into gardening and eating well. So as a Jamaican, like, kudos to you. As a woman, definitely we're very, very proud of you. I also wanted to ask, like, say you have a man come in to meet with you, and it's somebody that you have to coax to make these, to get them on the proper path. How would you kind of initiate them? You know, what would be the questions you would ask, or your kind of idea for them to get started to make those baby steps towards their health goals?
Good question. Sometimes I just let them talk. Tell me your story. And then I pick up and make a conversation. And as I see where the conversation is going, I may ask about the family. And I may ask, do you do the cooking? What do you do? Do you have somebody else who does the cooking? Would you like them to be a part of this conversation? So a lot of times I keep an I ask open-ended questions, and then I allow them to talk. And then I piggyback on what they are saying in their conversation. I think that's one of the easiest ways, because when somebody comes to you and you just say, what is this? How is this? Where is this? Sometimes they feel more withdrawn and they don't want to open up. But if they started talking and you are not judgmental, and you allow them to speak, and ask open-ended questions, sometimes you're jotting down little notes, but you're picking up the key points. And then from those key points, you can move forward if you're going to counsel and reduce the salt in your diet. If somebody's saying, I had breakfast this morning and I had bacon and eggs and I had some sausage, then it cues me right away that that diet may be high in sodium. So sometimes, depending on what they tell me, I piggyback off of that.
Beautiful. And I was going to ask you whether holistic the holistic approach is a part of your practice, but I can see from the way you spoke about eating vegetables and fruits and understanding the science of how they break down and what they do in the body, that seems to be a part of what you do, like understanding that natural foods will fix the imbalances that bring about proper health.
Definitely whole food. I stress eating the whole food instead of the processed foods. And you talk about gardening, and if we can grow at least some of the foods that we eat, because so many things we buy now say organic, and yes, some of them are, but some of them are not. And there are ways to know whether they are or not. But we can't go into that this evening. But holistic health is very important, and eating the whole food is mind, body, and soul. Because Dr. Lynch touched on having a connection with the Heavenly Father, and paying attention to your stress level. So that, because you could be stressed and not sleeping, and even though you're eating well, you can still become ill. So the whole body, the whole person should be addressed. And one professional cannot sometimes address the whole person. And that's why we have the mental health counselor, we have the physician, we have the nurse. It takes the whole team to work together and to help the person to follow a holistic health pattern. So my role is to work from the nutrition point of view. And if I see something and the person says to me, oh, I didn't sleep last night, or I didn't eat breakfast because I'm so depressed, my child, something happened, or this happened, then I know I need to make a referral to a counselor or to someone else. So it takes the entire team to sometimes help the client.
And thank you to you. And I'm sorry, the name escapes me. The other doctor on the program, and
Dr. Lynch.
And yes, Dr. Lynch, and the and is it TJ or DJ?
GT.
But anyway, JT, I'm so sorry. My mind is kind of blanking, but I just want to say this is a wonderful program, and you know, it's been very enriching for me to just pour into men in this way.
I have a quick question, if I can. To the nutritionist.
Sure.
So nowadays, as well, I should say over the past couple of years, we're seeing a lot of this GMO, genetically modified stuff. So like you said, the watermelons, the grapes, that, but some of these things are coming seedless. Is there a nutritional difference between that and the naturally grown stuff? Because while being on that Savvy thing, I've tried to, they tell you find fruits with seeds. Find fruits with seeds. And that's not the easiest thing to do in these times. So when I find it, it's like a gold mine I find.
Okay. This research is not backing that up for the nutritional content, like the vitamins and the minerals. Some is the belief is that some of them are depleted, but we don't have the research yet to back that up 100%. But there's a belief out there that it may not be, 50-50 quality for quality, but we don't have sciences to 100% back it up as yet. But we all just be a wise consumer, read your labels and see what you are shopping for.
Cool. That sounds good to me.
Yes.
Because definitely, trying to find watermelon seed, with seeds, that has been a task. So when I do find it, like, GT said, that is like gold, great seeds, that's gold.
It is. It truly is. And trust me, being on my vegan diet, it was a hell of a task for me to go searching for these things.
Okay. Plant your own sunflower, plant your own watermelon, and because those are easy to grow if you are able to. Because you can parch your sunflower seed, you can even parch your watermelon seeds, and you can include them in your diet. And you know for sure what you're getting, that they are not, sometimes the seeds are already messed up anyway, but by generation to generation, you get less of the GMO in them. But always remember, good nutrition is the key to better health. So design your health. It is yours. When you go to your healthcare professionals, ask questions. Tell them what you would like to do and work out a plan together. Design your own health and work on it step by step. Because everything we're doing now, we can improve on it. We can do better. And so let us take our men's health in charge, help them to do better. Start from boyhood, start with our children. Because, when we were growing up, our parents always said, boys don't belong in the kitchen, and so on and so forth. No, let's reverse that so they can see how to cook and what's good for them and how to cut up the cabbage or how to steam the vegetables. And so they will have a better appreciation of what a healthy diet should look like. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smith. We're getting to the end of our show, but before you go, I just want to have you share a little bit about health design, how we can, contact you. And I know you do have some classes that they can register for. Could you share a little bit on that? And I'll put up the screen with the information on Health by Design.
Thank you for the opportunity, Ms. Mayor. Yes, as you have said before, Health by Design is a nonprofit. It has been in existence for over 10 years. And right now we are focused in the Winter Garden area, near Maxi Elementary. We have some underserved areas there. And as we get more situated, we branch out further into Orlando. We offer free nutrition education to the underserved population. We give out flyers to let them know when we're having classes. We just finished one of our classes online because of the pandemic. We moved some of our things online. And hopefully when the pandemic is over, we can go back to the churches and have our webinars and seminars. And we also teach the underserved population of how they can locate free and reduce costs nutrition and health information. And we encourage them to get their checkups, and we work with them one-on-one as well as in groups. So if you can visit our website and learn more about us. Is healthbydesignusa.org, and it's on the screen. And we also accept any donations because we're a self-sufficient nonprofit, and all of the funds that we receive go right back into the community, because our goal is to have a healthier community, a healthier Orlando, starting with one-to-one. One person, one family, one community, two communities, three communities, and eventually a healthier Orlando. And maybe we branch out to another city. Thank you for allowing us to share. We are operated by a board of directors, and Dr. Lynch is on our board as well. And Miss Mia also helps out sometimes on that board as well. And I am happy to be the chief operating officer. I help to plan the programs, and we get the programs out to the community through community groups in the churches and so on and so forth. So you can call us. Call us at 407-745-9851, or you can email us at myhealthnow247@gmail.com. Health by Design USA. When you go on the website, you will see many Health by Design, but always remember Health by Design USA. And we have a wellness bus. And if you see that wellness bus, you will know that you're in the right Health by Design. We take that wellness bus to the communities, and we have volunteer nurses who help us to take blood pressure, blood sugar, and we counsel the patient, the clients right there. And then so that wellness bus right now needs to be refurbished, because we want to use it just like how we do in Orange County. We put where the folks can have get the internet, and we want to take the wellness bus to the community, so those who don't have internet can have free internet to get on the online to see what's going on. Because of COVID, so many things are online now, And some of these folks don't have the access to online because they either don't have the correct phone, the proper phone, they don't have internet service. So we are really restructuring our programs to meet those needs. Any contribution or prayers, anything that you can do, donate your time, your talent, or your money to the organization, that will be well appreciated. We need your help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smith, and thank you for being a part of GLOW this evening. Before we go, Dr. Lynch, I know you have a book that's coming out. Could you just share a little bit before we close out?
I can be found at the herb shop, which is up in the Longwood area. And there is a chapter in a book that I had the privilege of writing. And it's actually talking about how by showing kindness to one another, we can improve our health and well-being. And of course, this is very biblical where God says, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And so there's an inherent blessing there. So that book is available at that herb shop, or if you call me, where I'm also consulting with fascinating things because I measure the human body field. And this can sometimes be measured right through the voice. So come and visit with me at the herb shop in Longwood, pick up a copy of the book and get a health screening that will open up some interesting facets of understanding what's going on, particularly at the emotional level of your health and well-being. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on the program, Mia, and to glow with everyone else tonight.
I also want to join you, Dr. Lynch, in saying thank you for having me on the program this evening, Mia. And I look forward to continuing to work with you, especially when it comes to nutrition and health. Thank you, everyone, and have a healthy evening. Good nutrition is the key to better health. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, and thank you, Dr. Lynch, as well, too. GT, any quick final words?
I'm very appreciative of this evening. I thank both doctors, I thought the entire panel for chiming in on their opinions and life stories and what have you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity of me getting to tell my story, because one day I might not be here and somebody can reflect on this and see exactly what it is. I hear from some of the entire GLOW staff and family. I really appreciate you guys. Mia, you and I go way back. So it's a lot of time, 24/7.
Thank you so much, GT. Yes, we go back like some good cooked food, and how we do. Sophie, as our words of wisdom, we do the closing. Unmute.
I just want to piggyback off everything the doctors have said. Dr. Pat, eating healthy, we pretty much are what we eat. And Dr. Lynch, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance for you to give us a little bit of your energy medicine insight, but we'll look forward to that for part 2. I want to say it's a blessing to be able to sit here in your presence and to be blessed with the shared wisdom and your story, GT, and the wisdom of the 2 doctors on this program. And to those who are in the listening ear and the audience, I hope you all took something from this. I hope that especially our men. Dr. Lynch said something earlier that's really profound, and it stuck with me, had me dumbfounded there, that just to hear that 7 million people, men, had been documented to have gone to be reported that they didn't see a doctor for how many years within a certain period of time. And I think it's important that we
Welcome, and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com. You're helping people around the world.
Well, that too. But I want to say that I think, as a village, we come together, and, the fact that exercise and nutrition has not been emphasized and a big part of our children, our young people's development, our young people's growth, that speaks volume. And we need to encourage young mothers to have the conversation with our children to ensure that they are getting a balanced nutrition and get more vegetables, and supplementing that for switching out junk food, and handing snacks, an apple, a carrot, as they go through the door. It's just a matter of trying to eat the rainbow and love ourselves and our children. And I want to say thank you so much. Looking forward for part 2. And you're invited to come back to the platform on behalf of the rest of the GLOW team. Thank you so much for glowing with us and for sharing what it is to live healthier and wealthier life. God bless you all. One love.
Thank you, Sophie. Dawn, any closing words?
I just, I'm just so overwhelmed with this this topic and how great the conversation has been, because we do need to let our men know how great they are, how much they mean to us, and remaining healthy is one of the best things that a man can do for his loved ones. To be around for them, and so they can, just continue to be in each other's presence, the men and the rest of his family that would really want him to take the best care of himself. And they're included as well, whatever they can do as far as whether it be helping with cooking, helping with shopping, helping with being a partner with them at the doctor's office, helping them to navigate the healthcare system. So men, you are loved. Just know that.
Thank you, Dawn. And, I concur with that, it's so important that as men that, we take care of our health, eating the right foods, exercising, and practice mental, wellness, because the mind also plays a part in, how we function every day, and just removing a lot of that negativity and just putting a lot of positive within the mindset, and just continue to stay healthy. And also, I can't stress on getting annual physical, whether you like it or not. Please, fathers, brothers, sons, uncles, hey, families need you. So continue to stay well. And thank you all for tuning in to GLOW on behalf of the GLOW team. And also thank our guest, Dr. Smith, along with Dr. Lynch, and also Professor GT. Thank you all. And Sophie, I know she has her show coming up. Share a little bit about that before you close out.
Oh, I'm on Mondays through Fridays, 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network, scattered across the entire Caribbean diaspora. Talk about play cool music, good vibes. It's about inspiring, encouraging one another through music, spreading the words that need to be shared, and just keeping in touch on a musical level with inspirational vibes. You can reach me at Caribbean Rhythms Radio Network, that's crrfm.com, weekdays. And I invite you to tune in tomorrow. Get some good vibes going. And you can also reach me on any of the social media platforms at the Sophie G Show at gmail.com, the Sophie G Show on Instagram, or the Sophie G Show on Facebook.
And you can also follow KO Magazine and all the brands of Men of Culture 365, Official Woman of Culture, and Ribbons of Survivors, and as well as the GLOW. We're here every month, every third Tuesday at 7 p.m. on all the Facebook pages of KO Magazine, Woman of Culture, Men of Culture, and Glow. Follow us on Facebook at Greater Level of Wellness 365. Again, thank you all for tuning in and stay well, and we'll see you all soon.